Hey, my name's Steven, coming at you from Florida.
Hello, y'all. This is Kevin coming from Texas.
My name's David. I'm coming from the heartland, Ohio.
And welcome to the Brothers
Corn Podcast.
And we're excited to talk to you.
Yes, we are.
Hey, Kevin, why don't you introduce us this week? Why don't you bring us in?
Okay. So, just want to say welcome back. And once again, we're without David. We'll explain why in a little bit. It's kind of a tragic story, to be honest. But before we get into that, we'd like to start off with, what we've been into this week. So why don't you go ahead first?
All right. Well, I know you're going to make fun of me, but I recorded a song for my Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Nerd.
But let me tell you, I had an absolute blast doing it, and it's pretty fun. It's on YouTube. So if anyone listening wants to check it out, says I have a video from 2013 where I used to be in a band. I'm singing one of my songs, and then the other video is the song I recorded for Dungeons and Dragons. But it's called like Humblewood Folk Song.
So this song that you did recorded, since it's for Dungeons and Dragons, are you in like a minstrel outfit?
No, not yet. Because
not yet.
Here's the thing. So in the story, I don't want to give too much away because my players listen to this podcast. Some of them.
Nerd.
So I don't want to give too much away. But basically, right now, hopefully later this afternoon when we play the game together, they're gonna hear this melody that I posted on YouTube. They're not going to know the words though, and it's that kind of their job in the story to uncover the words. So as they uncover the words, I'll record a new one with the words in it. And each time they're going to learn a little bit more, and I'm pretty excited about it. I know it's super lame to you, but it's like really fostering another side of my creativity. I love playing music. I found a way to include music into my other nerdy hobby, and it's working.
Now, I would like to mention to our other listeners who aren't part of your nerd crew, Steven does not live in our parents' basement at this current moment. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to later, but at the moment he does not. So, there's that.
Though I did, we were out shopping yesterday, and I did purchase a bag of Cheetos specifically for when I play Dungeons and Dragons today.
You got pizza rolls and Mountain Dew to go with it?
No, we're gonna eat healthy, a healthy lunch.
Cheetos is healthy, yes.
No, the Cheetos aren't, but but yeah, I'm pretty excited though. It's gonna be fun.
Also worthy of note, Steven is married, and no, she is not a nerd. So
she plays Dungeons and Dragons with me though. So
yeah, only to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I sort of do. She does it just to kind of. She feels bad for me, I think.
Nah, it's not any different than my wife, buying me toys from my childhood back in the 80s when every cartoon was awesome.
Well, it's just who we are. You and I are nerds, just in different capacities.
So speaking of nerds, so here's what I've been doing lately. It's not much better. I have actually been watching an anime.
Oh, so there we go.
No, but see, somebody recommended to me this in class, and I had to check it out. It's on Netflix. The name of the anime is Cells at Work.
Cells at Work?
Cells at Work. And the premise is
that sounds like a health video.
It is.
Or a chapter from a health book.
So it kind of is. So the premise of the anime is it follows these blood cells in the human body in their adventures. And what makes it weird is this, aside from, them being anime characters, it's actually medically accurate. So it's kind of weird. So it's like this little red blood cell, she looks like a person, obviously, not just like a little blob running around. She's like running around, and she has like pushing this cart and has like a box of O2 on it, so she's going to go. And then she runs in this white blood cell, and he starts like fighting a germ. It's really bizarre. It's probably one of the most bizarre things I've ever watched.
What's the villain? The main villain? Is he like a virus or bacteria or something like that?
It depends on the episode. So they've been viruses. They've been, but they'll sit there and name the actual bacteria. It's like, oh no, it's streptococcal.
That's awesome. I hope I
It's
have
really
to check
weird.
this out.
And they go in through like the different types of white blood cells, and they're all characters in the anime. It, like I said, it's medically accurate.
That's
It's just
interesting.
it's really a bizarre show, but
Yeah, I wonder
I
how
kind of like it.
I mean, whoever pitched that was like, I have something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's
I'm
like, hey,
just picturing.
we're developing new anime. How about a guy who lives with a bunch of women and they all want him, but he doesn't want any of them? No, that's been done before. How about giant robots? No, that's been done before. Who has another idea? Cells? The human body?
So I'm wondering what style of. I mean, all anime is different, but I'm picturing right now these cells having like Super Saiyan hair.
No, they
Okay.
look. I mean, they have the weird, colors, of course, but like their white blood cells are all like completely white. I don't know. It's really weird. It's strange, it's bizarre, but it's interesting. And as I said,
Yeah.
medically accurate.
Hey, that's
So-
one way to like if your kids don't want to study in biology, but they like anime. There you go.
There you go.
Just play cells at work. Let's watch cells at work together. That's fun. I'll have to check that out. That's pretty cool. So, man, what's going on with David? Where's he at, dude?
All right. So I talked to him the other day, and so I remember a couple weeks ago we had our discussion about like working for the Empire.
Yeah.
So David tried to do that.
Oh,
So he went to go join the Empire, and they gave him some like low key maintenance job. I don't even know what it was, but he was involved in an industrial accident.
oh,
Fell off
crap.
of fell off of a like bridge or something. I don't know. But see, and it brings me to this point about how
Wait, hold on. Does the Empire offer health insurance? Like, is he covered?
no, they don't, and that's what I'm trying to get into. So
Huh?
the Star Wars universe, the people in the Star Wars universe are all terrible at their jobs.
Huh? Interesting.
And employment options in general are seem to be kind of limited. So if we look into movies, now granted, the movie you can't specify, look at the movies as, that's the entire universe, of course.
That's true. True.
But when you look at jobs, at least from what I can tell, the jobs that are available are, and this is assuming that you're not part of the Empire, okay?
Mhm.
Because obviously their jobs they're part of the military. So you have a gangster like Jabba the Hutt. You could be a smuggler, which is illegal. You could be a bounty hunter, which not really sure what's going on with that.
You could
be a moisture farmer, because we don't see any other type of farmers, just moisture farmers. You could be a like cantina keeper,
cantina musician as well.
Yeah. So I want to know, is people who run these cantinas, like, how are they affording to do this? Because nobody has any real job in the Star Wars universe. You could be a pilot, and I want to get into that in a little bit because there's something really weird about becoming a pilot in Star Wars that I've noticed.
A senator. I mean,
yeah, you could be a senator.
Politics is very vibrant in Star Wars.
Yeah, you could be a senator. You could be a guy who just follows another guy around. Because you have every senator has like 2 or 3 dudes who just follow them around. I don't know what their jobs are.
They're probably security or something.
Yeah. You could be a security officer too. That's also an option, and that's pretty much it.
Well, no, you could be like Watto, and like
a junk dealer.
Yeah, junk dealer. There's plenty of that going on.
You also have the option of being a slave.
Oh yeah, that's probably not the number one option, but
no.
I think there's a lot of freelance people. I mean, like Ray is just taking on odd jobs to try and make some money to eat that weird food that blows up.
Yeah, she's a scavenger. She's a scavenger. That's true. But I think it's kind of weird because there aren't really a whole lot of job options, at least from the movies, that really appear available. Like, where are accountants or like construction workers, for example? And then you're like, construction workers. Oh wait, those are droids. Or all the medical personnel, droids. So basically, robots have taken all the real jobs.
That's what I'm thinking, man. Like that's my whole thing now. Like, we're started off with self-checkout. Yeah, it's convenient, but people losing jobs. And now in Star Wars, we see what happens. The droids do all the work for them. People lose their jobs because the droids are obviously more efficient because they're droids.
What I think is odd is I had droids take over all like the normal jobs. But like they still have people fighting wars.
Well, they have droids fighting wars too.
Well, yeah, but only like in the like Old Republic.
No, there's those weird droids in the Mandalorian. Those like crazy, powerful, strong ones.
Oh yeah, the Dark Troopers. I don't know. I just think it's just kind of weird, like how there's the employment opportunities are kind of set up, and then you have droid bounty hunters. What does a droid need money for?
I think they don't take the money. Whoever owns the
No,
droid.
they take the money. It's their money.
What are they gonna do with it?
I don't know. Buy droid parts. I have no idea.
Buy some
My,
new paint for their bodies. I don't know.
my point is, job opportunities are limited in the Star Wars universe.
Let's go back. We talked a couple episodes ago about how each of us has our own place in the Empire. Let's talk about our real life jobs. Do you think those translate anywhere into the Star Wars universe? We'll start with yours. Clearly does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you're like a medic in the army, or a soon to be LPN.
But remember, all the medical jobs in Star Wars are all taken by droids.
Well, so someone's got to supervise those droids.
So your job also is irrelevant. David, the one who's not here, and decided to go and join the Empire, and then got like some maintenance job, and now is like in a hospital somewhere. He's the only one that has a job that actually transfers to the Star Wars universe.
That's true. As a teacher, and because you need that,
and a musician.
Specifically, do you think they have like music teachers? They got to have music teachers.
Well, yeah,
the cantina guys got to learn from somebody, right?
Exactly. So David's safe in the Star Wars universe. So I don't know why he decided to do what he just did.
I just pictured David. Those what are those guys with the clue horns? That's what we learned they were called last week. Like
the just whalers.
Yeah, like David, like a little bunch of those little guys on a carpet, and he has them like teaching them. This is your Dorian scale, and they play through it. That's awesome.
Dorian, that'd be pretty good. But so before I get into, I mentioned pilots earlier, and there's something really weird I've realized about pilots.
Okay.
In the Star Wars universe, the only thing you have to do to become a pilot in the Star Wars universe appears to be just say that you're a pilot.
Explain. Give me an example.
So look at Han Solo. Look at the Han Solo movie. He's like, I'm going to be a pilot one day. And then he's a pilot.
He has to work through the ranks, though, a little bit. He joins the Empire.
No, because he started off as a pilot, and then he did something which caused him to be into the Army. But then he became a pilot again. Or look at Luke Skywalker. He's like, I'm not a bad pilot myself. He's never flown anything. He's suddenly a pilot. He can suddenly fly an X-Wing with the rest of the military, and he's really good at it, I might add. Or even his father, Anakin Skywalker. He's a slave. He's just, working at a junk shop, and he's like, I'm going to be a pilot one day. And he becomes a pilot.
Dude, he's got all that mad experience from driving the pod racers, though.
Yeah, but all he had to do to become pod racer is say that he wanted to be a pod racer. That's why there's so many terrible pilots in the Star Wars universe.
They don't have the qualifications.
They don't have the qualifications. Or the recruiting options for Rebellion are like the standards very low.
I mean, they don't have as many people, sure. So they're just like, hey, we'll take what we can get. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
You drove a car once. All right, you're driving an X-Wing now.
Well, and this is what I think is weird because to become a pilot in on Earth, that takes schooling. It takes experience. They don't just grab some moisture farmer off the street like, hey, we need someone to be a fighter pilot here. Go in this X-Wing. You're good.
Come to think of it, Rey does the same thing too, doesn't she? She
gets the
Falcon and just starts piloting it.
She knows everything about that ship. She's like, I'm going to change a compressor. And it's like, how do you know this? You've never been in a spaceship in your life.
She's wandered around the old Star Destroyers on that planet and stuff. She may have tinkered with things. I don't know if that means she'd be good at flying.
But how does she know what all those things do is what I'm saying. There's no formal training in any of the jobs in the Star Wars universe.
Maybe she knows.
Becomes very apparent.
Maybe she knows because there's a library on that planet. Wait a minute. There's no library on that planet. There's another job that's not there.
Exactly. Another job's not there. Yeah, it's like a whole community of scavengers. I don't understand. Are there no other jobs available on Jakku? And why would anybody live there then? I don't know.
And that dude that gives her the food for the credits, how do you get that dude's job? How did he just rise to the ranks and boss of the...
My question is, where does he get the food? Because there's no manufacturing jobs.
Well, maybe that's people drop it off or something, and it's like a refugee.
It could be from the droids too. Like I said, droids have all the jobs, and so because of there's no formal training for any jobs, it explains a lot in the Star Wars universe is why people are so terrible at them. So let's take architecture for an example. This is my favorite example of this.
Okay,
let's assume just for a moment that architects in Star Wars universe are in fact people. Okay, instead of droids.
That would make yeah, of course.
So what are some rules in Star Wars architecture? One, everything has to have a giant bottomless pit for no discernible reason whatsoever. Cloud City, the Death Star, thieves on a Naboo or whatever. Every like large structure or large city has just a giant pit for no reason whatsoever.
Well, let's talk about this pit, though. Maybe there is a reason. They just don't explore it because it doesn't help the narrative. Maybe that's where, like, trash goes or, like, waste and things.
Okay, see, I'm kind of with you on that when it comes to, like, the Death Star and, like, Cloud City. Because, like, Cloud City is a floating city, so maybe it has something to do with the mechanics of it floating, right?
Okay, yeah.
And Death Star, it has, like, a power core. Maybe it's, like, they need things to, like, they don't want things to touch,
Sure.
the power source.
Yeah.
But then you look at the capital of Naboo, which is a city set in like the mountains with all these waterfalls and stuff on a planet, like a regular planet, and yet there's still a giant pit for no discernible reason. Like, why? Why is it there? What is that pit? What is that pit on Naboo, on the city of Naboo? What does that pit do? What is its function? It's not like they need it for a trash compactor. They're on a planet that has natural resources.
That's true.
Like,
Maybe.
And then on top of that, when you have a giant pit, anytime you're near the giant pit, you're not allowed to have safety rails, apparently. Safety rails are not a thing in the Star Wars universe. Safety, it doesn't appear to be a thing in the Star Wars universe.
It's because, like, a safety inspector is probably not a job there.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist. They're like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, like you're like, man, I'm gonna build this mansion. You hire, the greatest architect in the world. And he's like, let's start with the giant pit. We're gonna dig a giant pit for no reason. Because it's it's architecturally sound. That's what we do.
Okay, it probably takes a lot of work to dig that giant pit too. It's not like it's a little pit. It's a giant pit, like you said. You got to like drill down like a long ways.
You think anybody ever question it? Like, hey man, what's this giant pit for? I don't know. That's just what we do. It has to be a giant pit. But why? I don't know. It just does.
That's like
I have a young child who walks around in my house in this room. Can we put some safety rails up? No.
They're like, wait, what are safety rails?
What are safety rails?
We've never heard of this. You know how in like Walking Dead, they're called walkers, and there's no such thing as a zombie in Walking Dead. Like they don't ever say that word. I think Star Wars is like that with safety rails. So like it just isn't a thing. It's not even in their vernacular.
It's not in there. You would think an entire galaxy of various peoples and organisms of varying degrees of intelligence, at least one of them would have like, man, my kid keeps falling off of this cliff. Maybe I should put a safety rail, put something up to prevent that. But no. And I do think maybe it has to do with droids because, and I say that too because another good example is, okay, so the medical care in Star Wars is awful.
Yeah.
Look at Padme. She gives birth to twins. Now, I'm assuming in this world, they have the technology to build droids to assist in medical procedures. With that level of technology, you would think that delivering children who are pretty much healthy would be a pretty simple task. I mean, people have been doing it for thousands of years without any tools,
What wasn't her whole thing? Like she died of a broken heart more than...
Dude, they made that up.
like she I don't know, maybe she couldn't take it anymore.
She probably died from like placental abrupto or something crazy like that. And then the medical droid who has those weird speculum hands, which I think is weird. That medical droid that delivers Padme's babies is one of the creepiest droids in the whole series. It's like floating around, has those speculum hands. It's like ooh ba ooh ba. It's like that weird voice. So she pulls the babies out, and it's like this patient is bleeding out, but I have speculums for hands. I can't do anything about that. Oh well, I guess they'll just be dead. They're like, oh, Padme died. Oh, she died from broken heart. That's what happened.
Huh?
Like,
interesting. She lost her will to live.
And you would think as a former senator, she'd have some sort of insurance.
Yeah. Well, maybe she needed some like mental health care. There's got to be some psychiatrists because there's people that are pretty messed up in the Star Wars universe.
See, I don't think psychology is a job in the Star Wars universe.
Like therapy and stuff. Huh. Oh, droid is your therapist. That'd be a pretty interesting conversation. C-3PO. Imagine him trying to dive in.
I'm fluent in 6 million forms of communication.
Or it's just like it's an R2-D2. I've been having these really bad thoughts lately. Man. But none of the Jedi. I mean, like the Jedi have all kinds of stuff going on because they're so powerful, and they have like the weight of the world, the weight of the galaxies on their shoulders, and it's a lot to live with, man. Not to mention, they have they always risk falling into pits. That's got to do something to your.
It's true.
Your lightsaber battle always ends up there too. That's another thing. You do a lightsaber battle. It's not like you can just do it in a field somewhere. Nope, you got to do it on the crazy little walk path in the middle of this.
You'd rather have an epic lightsaber battle, and you're in the middle of like a farm field or something. You're Sith Lord's like, wait, this is not the way.
We have to go. Even in
we have to go to that giant pit over there. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Even in Mandalorian, I know he's not using a lightsaber, but he fights that one person with his Beskar spear. It's not a giant pit, but it's like that little bridge thing. And one of them could fall off so easily. That must be a qualification for a battle. You have to be able to fall off
if you're a Jedi. Yeah, because Ahsoka Tano is fighting there.
Yeah.
So if you're a Jedi, you have to fight somewhere where there's the possibility of falling to your impending doom in some fashion. But I think the reason why I wasn't a giant pit in that specific battle is because Ahsoka Tano technically isn't a Jedi. So
there you go.
She's only partially a Jedi. So maybe that's why they're like, okay, well, we have to partially put in danger.
Yeah, that's right. She kind of gave up the vows or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. It just seems like a weird universe or galaxy to live in. Like their job opportunities aren't there. You have to have giant pits everywhere. There's no medical. There's no insurance.
You think? Okay, you talk about going to Six Flags a lot. Do you think they have theme parks in the Star Wars universe? Because they don't really need them. They
really don't.
They got X-wings, the spaceships. They got giant pits. You got it all right there in your normal every day. You don't need to.
What would the theme of a theme park be?
Oh, dude, there'd be what are those annoying little bear things in Return of the Jedi?
Oh, Ewok Land?
There'd definitely be an Ewok Land for sure. That'd be like the kiddie park section.
Speaking of Ewoks, so they're all dead.
Okay, I did not know this.
No, because think about it. Second Death Star blows up over, Endor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had that big of a machine that close to the atmosphere of a planet that exploded, that debris is going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So all these Ewoks were chilling, living their native ways. I don't know how everybody partied at that time because, it probably happened. They were having that party and then just large chunks of space debris just fell to their planet and killed everybody.
Or a big majority of them. Then the Republic's well, let's pretend that didn't happen and just get out of there.
And you would say maybe they have a way to prevent that, but like we said, there's no safety standards in the Star Universe. So,
and man, maybe that's the whole reason the First Order. We didn't see it in the movies, but maybe the First Order took the remainder of the Ewoks to incorporate. We get revenge on the Republic.
Yeah, that's why the First Order exists. It's all the people who just were tired of putting up with the lackadaisy safety standards.
Yeah, man.
Only to find out they're being controlled by the Emperor. How does the Emperor even? I guess he's a clone. I don't know. I can't figure that out yet. And then all these spaceships they build, where they find the resources for these things?
There's definitely some miners and there's got to be. I mean, another thing is to their, it wouldn't make a good movie to watch people building spaceships. So
I think it'd be an excellent movie.
Well, yeah, but the general population's not oh man, watch this action-packed film of this guy hammering this metal against this other piece of metal. It's just, I understand why they didn't do that, but it would be nice to know, the background behind the scenes, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see a Star Wars movie that just shows people doing their everyday lives, like a sitcom.
Yeah.
You take I don't know, Seinfeld or Friends or whatever people watch, just make it a Star Wars thing.
That's true, man. Okay, so WandaVision has been really successful, and that's a sitcom. I mean, it doesn't end up being a sitcom the whole time, but Star Wars could totally do that.
You could totally do that.
Take some family that you just follow, and oh man, the
family
droid would be the biggest comic relief. The family droid.
Yeah, some family living on Mustafar or something. Well, probably not Mustafar, but some family living on Coruscant, and the dad's this down on his luck, accountant or something.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And then the daughter is applying for colleges, and she has an annoying little brother who like makes fart jokes all the time. Oh man.
Yeah, but he wants to be a pilot. No, he doesn't want to be a pilot one day because then he would automatically become one.
No, that's what it is, dude. He's lazy in school, and his mom's like, "You need to work harder in school." He's like, "No, I don't. I'm just gonna say I want to be a pilot. I got a job."
I would watch the heck out of that.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. I would love to catch that. And then, so do you think the family would be into the Jedi or like annoyed by the Jedi? Because there's, whether you think it's kind of a polar thing.
I feel like if they live on Coruscant, probably not, because if you recall, the Empire basically led his population of people to believe the Jedi are evil, which I argue might not necessarily be false.
Yeah,
but
depending on which Jedi, and yeah, I see what you're saying. Because
they're very, for people who keep the peace, they're very apathetic in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, they have to be. Isn't that their whole thing, to be neutral?
Yeah, but they're not really. Are they? They're not really neutral, though. I don't know.
I think like the dad would have some distrust of the Jedi, or maybe he doesn't actually want the droid. He kind of feels like the way that Mando feels about droids, but like the family wants the droid, so he like puts up with it. He's like, oh.
The droid's like a droid that's been in his wife's family for generations, so he can't like exactly get rid of it.
But that's how it starts off, and then as the series develops, he'd end up like trusting the droid and like all his issues and stuff. He'd talk to it. That's good. This is good stuff, man. I like it.
I feel like. Oh no, we do know of another job in the Star Wars universe, nerf herders, though we've never seen one.
Nerf herders?
Yeah, but Princess Leia brings it up. She's like, "You're no good nerf herder."
Huh.
So there's that, and nerf is like a cow, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. You got food and stuff, or like people farmers. So there are other farmers. You got moisture farmers, and you got
nerf herders.
Nerf herders.
Speaking of moisture farmers, like how does one farm moisture?
I mean,
like, what does that entail?
On a desert planet, there's probably some good science, like moisture, like in the atmosphere, and they gotta get water somehow, or they gotta get blue milk somehow. Where do you think blue milk comes from?
From Nerf, probably. But so when it comes to moisture farmer, I'm like, I don't know about you, but I'm picturing like, Luke or somebody, driving this big like harvesting machine across like the desert, but instead of like bringing up plants, it just somehow brings up water that doesn't exist. Like, what I'm talking about? Like one of those giant like corn harvesters or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm picturing in there like driving around like in this tractor.
It's John Deere. Wait, what would it wouldn't be John Deere in Star Wars. What would it be? Give me a name and star to the J.
I don't know. I'm sure there are some.
But
Janus? That sounds like a Star Wars name.
Janus Deere.
That'd be awesome.
He's the only person in the whole entire Star Wars universe that wears a baseball hat.
Yes, of course.
And everyone there thinks it's a weird hat.
Like, what is this? What is that hat?
Like, that's nothing compared to my sweet looking dome thing that no one else would ever wear. Well, I hope David's okay, man. Like, do you think he's going to bounce? Maybe I hope he gets good medical care. Hopefully, Specula Droid isn't the one helping him out.
David's going to come back with the robotic arm because everybody in Star Wars loses their arm for some reason.
No, see, I'm thinking he loses like 2 fingers, and then they give him robotic fingers only.
That'd be awesome. David and robot fingers.
And then like when he plays the saxophone, those 2 fingers move very quickly, and he's able to be more efficient.
I can get behind that.
I don't know exactly what happened on his accident, but I don't know what would make him lose 2 fingers. But I hope he's all right.
When he returns, we'll have to ask him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
we can't tell him anything about it. So when he finally is back, be like, "Hey, man, so what happened with your accident?" He's gonna have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, because it was so traumatic for him. We're lucky he didn't die of a broken heart. So he survived it, but it's gone from his memory now.
We're getting that report. He lost his fingers. Were you able to repair them? We were, but his heart just couldn't take it. Like, what? I don't understand how that even makes sense. Because his love for music just felt he couldn't play anymore. What? No, that's not a thing.
He's just like, he's trying, like, he's what is that when you're burying it so that you forget it? It's like a thing.
Repression.
Yeah, repressing it. And then some droid psychologist tries talking to him about it, and he's like, Just so where did you bury it? Was it deep in the pit? I don't know.
No, it's that droid from Bestman. You know, when like C-3PO is walking down the hall and the protocol droid comes out and he's like, "Oh, hello," and the protocol is like, "Chuta," and he just walks away.
And
C-3PO's like, "How rude!" So, it's that guy. David's pouring his heart out, and droid's like, "A chuta." I wonder what that means. What does a chuta mean? I wonder.
Oh, let's look it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I don't think you're gonna find the answer.
Oh, dude, I bet I will. This spooky Achuta droid speak. So I'm looking up Achuta, and what is it? Does the first thing? What does Achuta mean? I spelled it wrong, but it's ECHUTA, Achuta, and it's said by E3PO to C3PO. It looks like it's kind of like equivalent of like a foul word in our English language.
Oh, okay. I guess it makes sense.
So it's like
what's up with that droid then? Like he just walks out of a room, sees a droid, he's like, he basically says "F you, dude," and then he walks off. Like, man, he is rude.
He is
that
a
is my
rude
new.
droid.
What was his name?
E3PO. Yeah.
Dude, he's my new favorite character in Star Wars. That guy's awesome.
He just goes around cussing people out.
It'd be like me walking out of a store or something and seeing some guy walk by me like, "F you," and then just walking away.
Do you think, man, maybe that droid's just mad about his job and his droid life? He's like, it's the same droid that serves that family in our sitcom.
Yeah.
It's just like he's over it, but he can't get out of it for some reason.
So we're changing our sitcom to take place on Bespin. And E3PO is the droid.
Yeah, dude. That's so funny. Earlier, I was looking up Star Wars jobs and to kind of help us get ready for this. And Indeed.com has 342 Star Wars jobs. It looks like it's like obviously not Star Wars stuff. There's like freelance writer. There's a game designer. That's pretty cool. So it's not like true Star Wars jobs, but that'd be cooler if it was. Like cool. There's a job offering for a pilot. You click on apply, and the only thing you have to do is click apply now.
It's like you click on apply, and it's like one question: are you a pilot? Yes.
They don't even ask for your name. Here you go. You're apply pilot now.
Cool. Here's your X-wing. Yes.
But yeah, this was fun. I definitely think the Star Wars universe could really do well to. OSHA needs to get up in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be an OSHA in the Star Wars universe.
So there's definitely some issues there, but you know, when people survive, they make it work. There's giant pits everywhere, but like, you know what? That's just our world. You know, we have volcanoes. They got giant pits. You know, it's fine. You make it work. But
yeah, I mean, I guess that's what you got to do. What you got to do, you know.
But cool. Well, if David's feeling better, we'll get back to our Princess Leia discussion. If he's not feeling better, if he's you know still getting fixed up by the medical droids or whatever, what are we thinking next time?
I don't know, because I feel like whenever we like decide what we're going to talk about next time, that
something happens.
We end up talking about something completely different. So
let's say we're going to talk about something. That way, we don't end up talking about it. Follow me?
Okay. All right, cool. I would like to talk about 18th century crop rotation.
Yes. 18th century crop rotation. You got it. And then I'd like to talk about, I just got my taxes done. I'm going to talk about taxes.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Everyone stay tuned for when we talk about 18th century crop rotation and taxes. It's going to be a riveting episode.
It is. It's going to be fantastic.
I can't wait. So stay tuned, everyone. And we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Stephen and Kevin edition of the Brothers Born podcast. We had a lot of fun hanging out with you today and hope you had fun too. If you're interested in checking out that song I recorded for my D&D campaign, I of course invite you to. My YouTube name is Captain Ross, and the song is Humblewood Folk Song. Feel free to check it out, give it a like, give it a share. I'm going to add more to it as the game progresses. This isn't about my D&D campaign, though. This is about the Brothers Born podcast. David will be back next time. So we're going to have our discussion about Princess Leia, whether she's a Disney princess or whether she's not. What are your thoughts? Let us know on Facebook, Brothers Born Podcast. Catch you next time.